All right. Well, today's call, we're going to talk about block scheduling. So, first of all, has anybody here, show of hands, has heard of block scheduling? No, as if you had shaken Willie, of course. Yeah. No, no one has heard it. All right. Well, let's give you a little intro about block scheduling, what it is. So picture this, it's about 6 p.m., right? You've done your meetings, you replied to your emails, you've answered all your calls, and yet the one thing you needed to finish at the beginning of the day that you said you had to get done is still untouched. Sound familiar?
Mm.
Yeah. Who's lived that day, right? I think we all have had that day. Well, it's not that you're failing, it's that your calendar is failing you, right? And I always get asked, well, Hector, how do you fit so much in? Like, how do you make it work? How is it that you're working with all these groups and you have your commitments outside of outside of your regular job, and you have your family, you've got your gym. Like, how do you make it all work? And I'll tell you that the secret of that is block scheduling. And so I'm going to show you today how some of the most successful people in the world, CEOs, Fortune 500 leaders, organizational leaders, and entrepreneurs use block scheduling to win back their time. And I'm going to give you a simple tool to implement today that will enable you to put it in practice right off the bat. Okay. So, we always talk about time is money, right? Everybody's heard that frame. But the reality is, the time isn't just money, it has to be a strategy. Because if you don't design your calendar, somebody else will. Somebody else will take control of your calendar pretty quickly. And that could be your coworkers, your management team, your customers, right? All of that will take up your time fairly quickly. And so a lot of leaders will come to me and they're like, I struggle with time management. I struggle with time management. What do I do? How do I fix it? Well, today's episode, you're going to learn why multitasking is hurting you, and how the great ones structure their days, and how to use fractal tool to start block scheduling your week. Okay. So Willie, I know you've had some experience with block scheduling. Can you tell us about that, how you've used it in the past?
Yeah, I guess honestly, thinking of before not really scheduling my day, it was always complete chaos. And the minute I stepped into the office, I would have drivers calling me and dispatch calling me and customer issues and whatnot would pile on, and I seemed to never get control of the day as the day went on. And next thing you know, the day is done, and really didn't get to anything that I really wanted to do that day. So I would say I was always in this reactive mode and never really leading my business before the block scheduling time.
Exactly. And it's because we all fall into this trap of believing that multitasking is the way you should function. But the reality is that multitasking actually hurts your productivity. And switching tasks has been proven that it kills about 15 to 20 minutes of your focus time. So that's why you sometimes feel completely fried by the time 3 p.m. comes around, because you're constantly chasing an activity. You're doing emails, you're doing phone calls, you're doing meetings, you're responding to people in person that are coming to see you. So all of these tasks jumping takes away the complete focus that you should have on your critical tasks. So, who could think of that sort of, timeline when you've said to yourself, listen, today I have to finish the report. You sit down, all of a sudden you've got WhatsApp messages, you've got Slack messages, emails come in, and 2 hours later, you're still sitting on page one, right? Like we've all been there, we've all seen it. And so here's what we hear from the experts. Warren Buffett says his success comes from saying no and keeping his calendar empty, or as much as empty as possible. And Bill Gates has been known to lock away himself for a week, and he calls it think weeks. And by doing so, he allows himself to have no distractions and just pure strategy. Now, I know you're going to tell me, well, man, like I'm not those guys. I've got to run a small business. right? I'm just getting off the ground like James here. I have to be flexible. I have to be available, right? Well, that's okay. We also talk about in EOS is a tool called your clarity breaks. And what this is, it's a time block in your week that you're going to say, I'm going to block this out. And I personally take Fridays as my clarity break. So between 3 and 5 p.m., I like to block out that time. Now I've had to adjust it recently due to some issues we've had with customers, but I'll say from 4 to 5, now that becomes my end of day block of clarity breaks. And all I do is in that time, I review what was accomplished, what priorities were accomplished, and what do I need to focus on for the following week. And I break it down into 4 categories. Those of you that have seen me or seen my office know that I have a whiteboard. And in that whiteboard, I have cost, I have people, I have service, and I have quality. And in those 4 quadrants, I have issues that I list every Monday and every Friday. I cross them off and I add on the new ones. And that is my focus board. That tells me that those are my priorities that I need to be focused on for the week. So I'm always looking to accomplish or cross off one of those. So again, a clarity break is an easy tool that anyone in this room can implement starting next week. Okay. That means no distractions, no phone calls, no emails, no texts. You tell everybody, I'm not available. I'm in a meeting. You're in your meeting for that time, right? So, we've learned that individuals and leaders that do this, it gives them back their time. Now, Elon Musk is crazy about this. This guy goes to 15-minute blocks and he only has micro 15-minute meetings. And if you don't get your point across to him in that time, good luck because you just missed your window. And now I'm not telling you to be that extreme, but take that application and put it into applying it in your day into your business. So Jeff Bezos is another one who's been known to have mornings are for high IQ decisions. He is pretty diligent in saying he is only going to have meetings in the morning. All his tough decisions are made in the morning and nothing in the afternoon. The afternoon is more for less urgent matters, but anything urgent is done in the morning, right? And so when we think about that, you might say, well, how do I apply it? What are some of the tools that I can implement? What we've done at Willie's, and I've taken this pretty much a lot of places that I've gone, and I actually learned it way back at Pepsi. Pepsi is very diligent about how they operate and how they structure their business. And they teach leaders to batch their meetings, whether you want to do them all in one day or one morning or one afternoon, you're taught to batch them. And at Willie's, we batched them all into one single day. It was meeting day. And wherever I go, I always like to have all of our L10s in one day. I don't care if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you pick the day, but that's your day for all of your meetings. Willie, can you remember those days?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I still do it now with the ones that I do one-on-one coaching. I like to do them all in one day or as many as I can in one day.
Right. And what have you found when you do that?
Well, it just seems like if I would spread out now, I have 5 clients right now on one-on-ones that I meet up with every week. And if I put one in each day, I know I would be thinking about this all week. And now I just focus on that one day I get through them all.
That's
And
right.
yeah,
And that's the tough piece, right? It's that otherwise you're bouncing all week long with so
yeah,
many of them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
and then once you start doing that, like, yeah, the you just get so much clarity if you have block times of uh, not only just figuring out when you're going to do all the work, but for me it was always at Willie's was I needed to come in at least 1 hour early before anybody else showed up, if not 2 hours earlier. And I had my notebook and wrote down a list of things that I really needed to get done that day. And I started numbering those, which ones are the most important ones that I need to start working at as soon as I can. And so yeah, those are just a couple tips around that.
Absolutely. You have your number system, I have my quadrant system. The principle is the same, is understanding which ones are your priorities and putting focus around those, right? Anything that isn't on your board or numbered, that can wait. That unless it's extremely urgent, it's something that can certainly wait. Now, I know that where I'm at today, we call it meeting Tuesdays, and it literally is from the morning to the afternoon, the very end. All of the meetings are structured throughout that day. But what it does, in my case, is it frees me up to have freedom on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So Wednesdays become my customer downtown day. If I have to go downtown, I like to schedule them for that opportunity. So I have the full day Wednesday to get those done. And then all of the to-dos, all of the tasks that were assigned to you in your meetings on your meeting day, I have Thursdays to work on those so that I'm not chasing my tail all week long trying to complete different tasks. I block that day just for all of the to-dos. Now, if I only take one, well, that's okay. That means I get them done pretty quickly and I have other tasks that I can work on. But like most of you who are wearing many hats in your business, it means you have a lot of to-dos because you have to complete your marketing plans. You have to complete your people reviews. You have to put together your sales strategy. You have to look at your financials. All of those require you to have eyes and actions in your business. So that's when you set your day to say, I'm going to take the time. This is going to be my action day. This is where I'm going to complete them. Now, there's many ways of implementing this. And the tool that I'm going to share with you today, it's called the fractal tool. And essentially, it gives you the pattern or the framework for you to be able to strategize and put these patterns into play. So let's call it the daily fractal. That means you break down your day into 3 blocks: your morning, your midday, and your afternoon blocks. And these blocks are anywhere from 2 to 3 hour blocks. And that's where you schedule specific tasks. So you could say your morning block is your meeting block. Your middle block is your follow up or your to do block. And your afternoon block is your strategy block. That means that in your to do block, that's when you're checking emails. That's when you're replying to emails. That's when you're taking phone calls because that's your action. That's your to dos. And you're back into the day in your strategy, you're planning for the following day. You're looking at what customers am I going to need to talk to? What people am I going to have to visit? What fires am I going to have to put out? From a strategy perspective, you're planning ahead. Now, that is a daily program. I can do that, throughout whatever day you want. You can split it that way. You can also take a weekly approach where it's theme days, meaning Mondays, you have your team and alignment day. So that means that you have all your one-ones, all your team check-ins. Okay. On Tuesday, you have sales and clients. That means that it's your customer day, it's your selling day, it's your out of the office day. On Wednesday, you could say that's going to be my ops and project day. This is where I'm going to be working on projects throughout the day. And then Thursday could be your strategy, that could be your follow up, could be your planning. And then your Friday, again, is your review. So, however you want to strategize your week, break it down, it gives you the functions for you to put them in place from a day to day perspective. And then you can even go deeper and further plan. And now you start a monthly fractal themed. So now you have weeks that are themed for you. This is, of course, for higher level, bigger organizations, but you could take some learnings from this if you want to apply them for your business too. You could say that week one would be your planning session. So this is where you plan out the month. What are some of the priorities of the month that are most urgent to be accomplished? And you plan those out. In some cases, I know it as it relates to my previous life and my current life, but in trucking, we would be saying, hey, I want to plan out how many drivers I'm going to need to have by next month. How many assets am I going to need to have? Trailers, trucks, people, all that. You could also be talking about what is the seasonality changes. If you're going from summer to winter or winter to summer, what are some of the challenges that come with that? And you adjust your equipment needs. So you're planning, right? That week one is all planning sessions with your team or with vendors. On week two is execution. That means you're getting shit done. You're making phone calls. You're meeting with people. You're hiring people. You're firing people. All of those things. You're getting things done. Week 2, that's your execution. Week 3, you're reviewing your plan. You're reassessing, and then week 4 is your rest, your reset week, where again you check yourself in the mirror. What did you accomplish, and what do you need to realign and reset for the next week? So Willie, I go back to you here, but I know that we talked a little bit about, you know, if another business owner was listening to this today, what would be, some of your advice where people feel so busy they can't even think about a block schedule, right? What would be your advice to the business leaders here today?
Yeah, I would say I used to think I was too busy too to stop and think. And even what you were sharing here with the 3 blocks per day, I hear Ed Milet speak on this, where he calls it's his 3 mini days. He says if you will block use this 3 block formula in your scheduling, you basically get 3 times more done for than the people that don't do it. So, so that's super powerful to put that into blocks and figure out what you want to accomplish in each block. And yeah, I would say it's once I started planning my day early on and figuring out what each block's supposed to have in for the day, um, that's when I was able to also be able to delegate the things that I shouldn't be doing as a business leader and owner, and freed up more time to work on the important stuff. I would say it was a big highlight for me as well, or aha moment.
Absolutely. And that's critical that you talked about your learnings and how it allowed you to flow between departments, because as a leader, we get caught in this belief that we have to solve every problem. And the reality is when you're doing that, you're actually not developing your team, and you're creating more problems than you're solving because you're putting everything on yourself. Now, by allowing yourself to have block scheduling, critical tasks are getting done on time. You're freed up to hover to check on other departments, and now you're also delegating and you're elevating and you're building individuals within your organizations. Right now, this is easier said than done, because as we know, as leaders, we always have fires that are thrown at us every single day. This could change, but start with small habits, small applications of block scheduling, meaning, look, I'm not going to check emails for the next 2 hours, or I'm going to be offline for the next 2 hours. You can tell your team that. People will respect your time if you just say to them in advance, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to be available for these 2 hours. I'm going to be in a meeting." They don't need to know that you're in a meeting with yourself and that you're blocked out that time for you to accomplish the task that you need to get done. Right? What is that going to do? Well, no one's going to die because you're not responding to an email in 2 hours, right? Like there's nothing that's going to happen. The business isn't going to break because you're not responding in 2 hours. In fact, it's going to help whomever has a question maybe make a decision. And that in itself will allow others to rise up. And that's okay, right? That's going to be perfectly fine. They might make a mistake, they'll learn from it, but it gives you a coaching opportunity, it gives you a learning opportunity. So all of this is a win-win for the growth of your development and your business. Right. So one of the particularly pitfalls that I just wanted to make sure that you didn't get caught on was, again, hitting on the fact that you needed to respond to every email, that you needed to be in every meeting, that you needed to be wearing every single hat. It's okay to, again, tell your folks, listen, I blocked off this time. And I remember at Willie's, I would disappear Friday afternoons from 3 to 5. You would not get a hold of me. That was my time to really plan out for the next week, right? And so, in the current state, because right now we've got a lot of stuff going on where I'm at, it's a little harder to just block off that many hours, but I certainly still block off the time just to be able to do that. So my challenge here for the group is to start to implement those timely blocks. And you could say, look, in the mornings, I'm going to have my meetings. Start there. If you just start with that specific application, you don't take meetings in the afternoon, you only take them in the morning. Doing that will give you back your afternoons. It will give you your afternoons to accomplish things and to really focus on the tasks that are priorities that come from those meetings, right? So don't take meetings in the afternoon. Put them all in the morning. If you can all start there, you're going to see just how much of your time you gain back, right? And so that's the tool that we wanted to really show you today was this batching of tasks that you can accomplish by blocking them in and starting to apply them throughout the week. Again, you've got options. You could block them in through the day. You could use theme blocks for the week where you structure your days to specific departments and specific opportunities and priorities, or you could block in your weeks to where you're looking at strategies week to week scenarios, right? So reminding you that multitasking just drains you. So don't get into that circle of thinking that you always have to be doing everything all the time. Be strategic about it. Now, there's a time and place where you're going to need to multitask because the business requires it, but it shouldn't be where you live in every single day, right? If you're doing that today, it could be either you're a startup, you've got a young team that you're rebuilding, or you haven't scheduled your time wisely. It's one of the three, and you have control of all three of them, right? So that's in the startup mode. Yes, you're going to see that, but you can still block schedule it, right? And if you're developing a new team, to challenge your teammates to grow with you and start to delegate down so that you can buy back your time, right? So all of those options are still there for you. So as leaders, as entrepreneurs, to use your block scheduling is a tool to help you stay ahead of it. So the challenge this week, who's ready? Here we go. So if you're here, we're going to come back next week and we're going to challenge you. So I want this group to quickly implement a block tactic and come and report back next week on which blocking you're going to do. Whether that is no meetings in the afternoon or only meetings in the afternoon, or that you're going to take a clarity break on a Friday or a Monday or however you want to implement it and block out that time for you to really strategize, plan out, and really focus on your priorities for the week. So I hope that this has helped you. And if it did, I'd ask you to please share it. Tell your buddies, tell your entrepreneur friends, tell your coworkers. Remember that whoever's stuck in the busy trap, it's because they want to be. So it's that's the message today and the teaching. So we'll open it up for some questions. Back to you, your Billy.
Yeah, I was just gonna add a little bit to it. I think I I do everything on my calendar now, and I always have a clarity break schedule on there. And I think so many times if we don't put it right away into our calendar, we'll forget again. And this way, my calendar always reminds me. I always get a notification. Oh, it's clarity break time.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
great one.
yeah, so I think putting it in the calendar and setting it up so you get notifications on that is what I do.
And what are some of the things that you do in the clarity break? Maybe let's talk a little bit about that, Willie. I think that the people might hear like, all right, you guys sit there by
Yeah,
yourselves. What do you do?
I literally was talking to a guy yesterday about clarity breaks, and and I took him up on a helicopter ride and showed him where my clarity break usually happens.
Oh, nice.
So I said I get in the helicopter and I go for my clarity breaks, and but you don't have to go to that extent.
Yeah, what if we don't have a helicopter, Willie? What do we do?
But no, I said that is so important to me that I do that on a regular basis. Just my notebook, and I go somewhere where it's quiet, nobody's interrupting me, and just having that clarity break.
I'm sure you're strategizing, you're thinking about what went right, right, what went wrong that week.
Yeah, exactly. And just thinking, yeah, what am I missing even is my question a lot of times. Yeah, what am I not seeing? And once you start thinking about just what has happened, and trying to also look forward, what needs to happen.
Yeah. I always start mine by asking two simple questions. And that's what's working and what's not.
Mm.
Right. I ask myself that, and it's an open, honest conversation with myself. Write them down. Whatever's not working, it goes on my priority board. That's the next thing. The moment they're on my board, now I have to schedule an activity to get them off my board. So, if it's a people issue, well, I'm going to, when do I have that conversation with that individual? When do we start a performance improvement plan? What is the strategic plan to remove the individual if it needs to go that way, right? If it's a new service or new product we're launching or a new lane, well, we need to start talking about what that's going to look like. How many drivers, how many people, what's the process, who's involved. All of that needs to go into that planning session. So give yourself time. 1 to 2 hours is ample time for yourself to strategize and help yourself get clarity for the next week. So yeah, anything else, Willie, that you'd like to share about clarity breaks?
Well, you can also use it in family time. Is That's something that we have started too, where Fridays I come home a little earlier, and it's the family block time that we sit down as a clarity break in our family.
Nice. Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah,
That's excellent. That's good. Yeah, I mean, if anybody's using EOS at home, I know that we are. I know that you are, Willie.
yeah.
And I highly recommend it. It's a cool tool. It keeps you accountable at home as well. So that's for another day, and we'll certainly talk more about that one at some point. But let's open it up here for questions. I know some of you I've worked with, so you've seen these principles applied. Maybe I'll go to you first, Cecilia. If you've got any questions, comments around block scheduling.
Sorry. Um, yeah, I have to. I mean, I do know about this, but no, I'm still a work in progress. Like I told you this week, what was it? I think it was Tuesday. I told you all I did today was talk on the phone with people. I was just taking a glance at my emails, but no, on the phone for all day. And at that time, to me, I look at it like, I mean, some things you have to prioritize, right? But at
Yeah.
that time, you have to realize, I think, okay, in my schedule for today, this is important. This is more important than this. This is just urgent, but not important. Can wait. But when you have all these people that they need your attention, you have to also take into account that for them it is important, and that's their priority at that time. So it is hard, but yeah, it's not impossible. It's just like you said, I have a meeting, and when you put something like that, it works. Like people understand, and they're like, okay, tell me what time I can call you back, or this and that, or let's touch base again tomorrow morning, or things like that. So it's possible. And But it's just a matter of organize yourself, and like you said, that's a good initiative to have it set up like that by days. How to, in the mornings the meetings, and then the afternoons deal with things like that. I still have to work on that, but yeah, it is. I see it the days that I am able to apply it. Like I get so much done, and I still was able to deal with meetings and people, and then I wonder how I was able to do all this in one day, because I organize myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And what we've done by design, all meetings are on Tuesdays, right? Like we have all these L10s on Tuesdays,
Yes.
and you feel like you're burned out by the end of the day, but you've got all your major meetings done. And everything else now should only be a customer touch point, or it should be a real emergency, like a real event that requires, some level of interaction or involvement, right? So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so that's good. So good to hear, and like, yeah, let's definitely put it to practice. And and I encourage you because you're leading a large department now, right? And
But in that note, I do have people under me that's another thing that I've learned. I've been learning in the last quarter how to delegate more. Like I have my leads that they're messaging me and I see the phone is blowing up and I'm like, shit, like I need to answer this. But then I don't. And then I talk to them and they're like, yeah, you didn't answer. So I ended up doing this. And I'm like, that's what I was going to tell you to do. So there you go. Don't call
Yeah.
me. So yeah. And it works when you delegate and you realize like they're on the right path. Yeah, it works and you feel more comfortable delegating. So yeah, that's another good tool. Yeah.
Absolutely. For those of you on the call, Cecilia looks after a team of 260 drivers and about 15 dispatch administrators. So a lot of people, right? A
And
lot.
this is my chair, it's not a wig. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So a lot, right? A lot of activity. So I can tell you it can be done. You just got to be strategic about application, right? So yeah, let's go maybe next to oh, James, you joined us. James, how are you? I like James.
I have to unmute first.
There you go. Good stuff. How you
Yeah, I was a little late on the draw.
No worries. No worries.
I had a haircut appointment or a barber, so it took a little longer than I expected, but missed most of the call. But here I am.
Oh no, it's okay because we're gonna have this now, both obviously recorded, so you can always watch it. But cool announcement: Willie has done a phenomenal job with the development team, and we are now on Spotify. So you could listen to us on Spotify. This will be as a podcast version. So whatever you missed today, you can get us on Spotify in the podcast section by just searching the Inner Circle podcast.
Got it. Yeah. No,
Right.
I know roughly which topics you were discussing today, but I'll go back and listen to it, and I'll get Willie to draw me off at some kind of island and have my clarity break.
That's right. That's the way to do it. Get him to take you on the helicopter.
It'll be on the house though.
There you go. That's it. All right, good stuff, James. All right, Peter, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I'll do some clarity first because I thought you were talking about city blocks. I was like, what is the guy talking about? But yes, I actually my calendar is my boss, so I do have block time. For example, Mondays and Thursdays, like for example, this is a block of time. I don't like usually I don't take calls, but I was expecting a call, so usually those are the block of times. Like my phone has been on silent for 2 years. Like
Mm.
I've never have my phone on that it rings. It's always on silent, and like when I have this block of time, that's when I have my own time. And like you said, Hector, to book appointments, I usually do it in the evening. I don't know why, but that way I don't have to drag somebody else away from their time being at work, right? So
Mhm.
6 to 7, that's when I have my block of time. That's when I do my appointments.
Perfect.
And that way, most people are home from work, and they have like sometimes they've started supper, but sometimes they don't. But that being said, my time is usually 6 to 7. That's when I do this, and that's a specific time to fill up my calendar for next week. So that way, every day from 6 to 7, that's where my time goes. So that's block of time. That's what you guys were talking about, correct?
That's exactly what we're talking about. Is you're already applying a form of that, which is excellent, Peter. This is really good. It helps you stay efficient and focused on the right things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, it does. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good, cool. Well, great. I'm glad that you're already applying some of what we were talking about here today. Yeah, we weren't talking about city blocks. All right, James, you're new to the team here. Let's hear from you if you've got any questions or if you need any further clarification.
I just one question. You had mentioned that block scheduling is a fractal tool. And
Yes.
I was just kind of wondering what's a fractal tool.
Yeah, a fractal tool essentially means that it's blocked out activity, so it's in fractions.
Oh,
Frac-
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's the only question I had. I'm looking forward to implementing it, honestly.
Do you see how this could help you and balance out your day in planning out your schedules and your time?
100%. And most of my days are the weekends. so I have lots of time that I can block off and kind of really grow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I
Absolutely.
can expand in that time.
Well, I think you should talk to Andrew Ham, who's here. Both of you are starting out your landscape companies in different areas. You're in Calgary, and I know Andrew's in Lacrete. And so I think it'd be good for the two of you to share some of the learning curves, and all of that fun stuff that happens as you start off in your own business venture. But being part of the community, James, you'll be able to interact with any of us here. So encourage you to keep coming back.
Awesome. Thanks. And hey, Andrew.
All right, maybe we'll go to you next, Andrew. What did you learn, or if you have any questions about what was taught here today?
Well, I've learned this from a different call that I was on like half a year before I joined you guys, is from time blocking. I always do the hardest thing beginning of the week, like Monday morning. Like my meetings, I hate meetings for some reason. So I schedule them Monday morning. And I do my biggest projects that I have scheduled for the day, I do them in the mornings. That way
Okay.
I can do the smaller ones in the afternoon. So
That's a good strategy. You get your big rocks done early, right? Get them out of the way.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
and you get your blood flowing, and
There it
yeah,
is.
good.
I like it. Well, you're already applying some of that. So I'm glad to hear that. Any questions about how they're applied, or the thought behind the process and the systems?
Well, just one more thing that I guess I have to apply more is doing more client checkups. I guess I have to block time more for that. That's one bad thing that I just do it randomly during the day, but I'll have to schedule that more daily and not just a weekly thing.
There you go. Set up a block time for your
Yeah.
customer check-ins, right? And that could be done towards the end of the day. It could be done maybe early in the day, like you said. You like to get the big things done, the things that you
Yeah.
get them scheduled in. Put that into a couple hours block throughout the day or throughout the week, and that way then it's on your calendar and you got to get it done.
Yeah, and also one thing that I have to block in a little better is my maintenance. Because maintenance, if you don't do that, the machine gets wear down pretty quick. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
try to do it on Friday evenings or Saturdays, but I would like to do it some other days instead of always the weekend.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. No, that's really good, Andrew. Now you're starting to see how you can apply some of this, right? So you have your maintenance day, you could have a maintenance day, and I know that takes away from production and earning, but it could be a couple hours that you need to do it on a specific day. Right. All right. Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. Well, we'll go to Philip. Philip, again, this was your first time. Questions, thoughts, feedback here. Fire away.
There you go. Got to
There you
figure out
are.
how it all works. Actually, this is one that I think through the years of the business that I'm in, it's been a challenge with getting new guys. So it's something that um making a room for my guys is something that we do every morning.
Mm,
So what we do is every morning in the morning, it gives us kind of a time where we just sit and chat about the day before or problems of the day before.
okay.
But as far as for myself, I think that's something that I definitely need to improve on, because I'm kind of that guy that's all over the place. And sometimes it's because I feel like it's um they're all in different locations and sometimes a lot out of service.
Oh
And
yeah.
you give me the call, then it's like then I drop everything, and then it's because probably they're needing something. So I'm kind of I would find that one challenging, how to go about that one. But as far as for in the morning, every morning we have a timeout where everybody gets to either express their day the day before or what.
So what happens when in the morning and they tell you what didn't go right? Like, what were some of the challenges? What are the takeaways from that meeting?
Usually it's more of like, yeah, if things have gone wrong on a job or complaints with where a customer was thinking things were maybe different, it was something that we can very often, I can turn the question back to them that they can kind of figure it out for, and that it's not all on me. And it kind of, I feel like it's helped us, but
Nice.
maybe I'm learning still. So
That's okay. That's what we're here. We're here to learn together, right? So that's good. And so, understanding or hearing that, you still need to apply some of this a little better. I would challenge you, Philip, to go back and create that block scheduling, in your day. And I think with somebody like you running a pretty large business, I'd start with your meetings only in the mornings, or your administrative tasks only in the mornings. Maybe creating a team follow-up time throughout the day, in the midday, to where you're checking in with your teams and your foremen and your people in the field. And then
very often that I do very often at about 11:30, as I'll phone them like, where are we sitting? Just so we kind of know where the tables are for the next day.
nice. See, that's perfect. That's the perfect timeline. I always love those 11 o'clock check-ins, because it's in the middle of the day. It gives you plenty of time to still, pivot and make decisions or adjustments. So that's why I was going to suggest the middle of a day check-in. And then in the afternoon, you have for strategizing, completing to-dos, and then planning for the next day.
Yeah. But finding time for myself is the one. I think I'm doing something wrong there. I know for a fact I am.
Yeah, finding time is blocking out that clarity break. I feel like you just need Willie to take you up on the helicopter.
Yeah, I think so.
He just needs to jump in his plane and go somewhere.
I do that very often. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. That's
He
excellent.
flies as
Neighbors
well.
for hangar neighbors yet too. So
Oh, your hangar neighbors too. Well, there you go.
this has the better hangar, which is good.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. All right. Perfect. Well, again, if anybody else has any other questions, we are going to have a block scheduling worksheet that I have just sent to Willie. He is going to put this on the community, and you'll be able to download that. Willie, I don't know if you want to share it in another platform as well, but we'll have it there, and from there you can download it, print it, and have access to use this tool as well. So yeah, I just sent it to Willie now, so want to make sure that it gets to the team after this call.
And if we got some spare time here, I wouldn't mind maybe even sharing my screen here yet and showing you a little bit of some updates in the community platform.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or if you got nothing else there, Hector?
No, not if there's no other questions on block scheduling. It sounds like this group has got it. It's got it pretty good. Peter's got already a system. Andrew's already knew about it. Looks like this whole team is starting to implement it.
Okay, I'm just opening it up here. You can see my screen here now.
Yeah.
I've got a question. I just don't know. So how do I go about, like, throughout my day, and then I don't know if I'm the only one, but throughout the day, like today, for an example, there was a lot of calls, a lot of emails, and everything was just everybody. But I just got back from a holiday too, come to think of it. Yeah. But
They all wanted your attention.
everybody wanted my attention at the same time, and it was just mentally draining. And then the guys phoned that they're short stuff, they're out of service, and so I was able to get guys out there to help them. But then it feels like you're very disoriented for a little bit.
Yeah, and so the trick there, again, we talk about delegating. Who within your team can handle some of those decision making, so they don't have to come to you, and then also just scheduling them on priorities to get back to them. And I believe that I need to schedule my callbacks, and I call back those that are the most urgent. There are those individuals that are on my callback list, like Cecilia's on this call. I will call her back immediately if I have a call from her. If I have certain drivers, that are calling me, I might call them back tomorrow, and they'll be on my callback list, right? Like They might not be my first call back. They might be my 5 p.m., 6 p.m. call back tomorrow because they're just not at my priority list for that.
yeah.
Right. And so it's all dependent on the activity, and you'll get to know some of those. And the reason why I'm saying I'm going to call somebody back at 5 p.m. is because I heard the voice message. I understand what they're looking for. It's not urgent. There's somebody already dealing with that matter within the team. They've already contacted, a supervisor, and somebody else is dealing with it. So my time to call them back would be just a follow-up call at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I'll think of some of the stuff. I've written some of it down, so I think I'll read my notes over.
Excellent.
Philip, I know you got one very key guy there, and maybe you can start having him take on some of those responsibilities where you tell your guys if you don't answer, they can call him as well or something like that.
That was actually the next question that I was having. Is I think that's what I'll have to start doing is
Yeah, delegating some of that. Yep.
but more than I am.
Yep.
Don't be scared to delegate, Philip. The team and those right individuals will embrace it.
Mhm.
I'll try that.
Awesome. Okay, so this week I've added a couple more tabs here on the side. When you go to the discussion tab up here, we got the Inner Circle podcast. So here's the link. If you want to just listen to our calls, they will also be in the podcast here. And then the other exciting thing, we got our affiliate link set up. Here is where if Peter actually set this up already on his side. And so you can join the affiliate program, and then you get an email with a unique link, which is tied to your account. And then if you share that with other people and people sign up to join our community here, you get 25% of that client then monthly on paid to you guys. So yeah, that's a little bit how that works. And then here's another one, AI mentor. We talked a lot about clarity breaks, or clarity, breaks and whatnot. Here's a chance where you can phone this number and ask this AI mentor what strategy you can use for clarity breaks. It's literally where you're talking to an AI person. It's talking back and forth and it's answering your questions. And so I'm curious to actually get some feedback on this. And I put it in here where if you aren't sure what to ask this AI mentor when you call it, here's some pre-questions that you can ask it, and it will give you a rundown on those. And so, yeah, I'm kind of excited to hear some feedback on this. Any questions?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited. We played around with that AI mentor yesterday, and we asked it some questions, some tough questions, and it's cool to hear how technology is evolving. And now we're from day one, we've said that we're a tech forward organization. We're going to leverage technology as much as possible, and AI is one of those tools we're going to use. And having an AI mentor available to the group allows you as part of the community to get a quick answer. You might say, hey, I've got this problem. I got this people problem. I've got this process problem. How do I solve it? Right. And maybe, that mentor can give you a quick path on how to do that. And if it's too complicated, the AI will simply say, hey, that like you need to book time with Willie, you need to book time with Hector, and have some one-on-one time, and we'll work on it together.
Yep, exactly that.
Right. So yeah, we're evolving, we're growing, and we're looking forward to your feedback. So one of the things that's going to come out, I know in the last couple of weeks, we talked about customer experience, we talked about CRMs. So post these calls, the attendees will start to get a survey, quick question. It won't be more than a second of your time for you to be able to acknowledge what worked, what didn't, and how we could structure these calls going forward to make sure you're getting the most value for your hour that you spend here with us every Thursday. Right?
And we do believe you should block this hour every week.
That's right. You got to block that hour for sure. Super important. Cool. All right, folks. Well, we're right at 6 now. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. And again, we will talk to you later. Thanks.
Thanks,
Take care.
everyone. See
Thanks.
ya.
Bye.